Welcome back to Longhorn Weekly. Roger Wallace sitting in for Craig Way. We are focusing on University of Texas track and field. Happy to be joined by Tonja Buford-Bailey, the associate head coach in her first season at Texas. How's the transition been after a decade at the University of Illinois coming down to the Southwest?
No, it's a great transition. Everything I'd hoped for, and I'm really just enjoying myself.
Talk about the relationship with Mario and how you guys do things, coaching the men and women. You concentrate on the sprints and the relays?
Yeah, I think that's really the idea is that everybody kind of concentrates on their own events, and I'm pretty much spearheading all the sprints, hurdles, and relays for the men and women. Mario has his hands full with all the multis and field events, so it really works out.
Your first year, you get the indoor championship for the women in the Big 12, and then so close in the national championships. But what kind of indoor season, in your estimation, did you have?
I think we had a great indoor season. The great thing about it is we took 7 ladies to the meet, and everyone that participated were in the top 5 in their respective events. So I think the thing that I loved about it is that everyone went there to do their job, and they really did a fantastic job, and was pretty much performed as well there as they had all year. So that's usually the best expectation, is when something like that happens. And
now a little different perspective, the Texas Relays. You came down here as a coach and an athlete. What's it like now being the host?
I'll see you in the next week. It's all pretty new, but again, this is just a fantastic event. It's always been great. You get to see the best of the best, and most importantly, it just kind of kicks the outdoor season off. So, with the relays and some individual events, and James Barr's done a great job of adding some invitational events in it, including additional invitational individual events like the women's 200 and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a fantastic event, as it usually is.
What was the perception from the outside of the Texas Relays when your teams were getting ready to come down here?
That don't show up if you don't have your A game. That's for sure. But that you're always going to leave with some top leading national times. You're going to run against the best of the best, and it kind of gives you an idea where you are as a team and what you need to work on going into the outdoor season. So like I said, it's a very good beginning of the outdoor season to kind of see where your team is. And then again, you're getting on an outdoor track as opposed to coming off of the indoor season. So it sets you up well for the outdoor.
3-time Olympian yourself, a bronze medalist. What are your memories? That's got to be special to have 3 different Olympic game experiences to look back on.
Yeah, each one was very different. My first Olympics, I was a junior in college, so it was kind of just getting my feet wet, and I'm in the stands. 80,000 people in the stands, so that was kind of, a really scary experience. The second go round, I was going for the gold, so that was kind of a different experience. And the third Olympics, I just had my son, so I was just really happy to be there, and was able to go out in Australia and see the lay of the land and sort of be a spectator while I was competing. So 3 totally different experiences. And then I coached the team in 2012, so that was a whole different experience, being on the coaching staff as opposed to being an athlete. So,
well, let's talk about the transition from an athlete to a coach. When you're an athlete, do you kind of feel like you have all the answers, and then you're a coach and you see it from a different side?
I realized right away when I started coaching collegiate track that I had no clue what was going on behind the scenes. The coaches work so hard, and I just don't think the athletes realize how much is pretty much set for them, and really they just need to go out and run, and it pretty much is kind of set up for everybody for things to go smoothly.
What makes a good track coach? Because sometimes when you excel at your skill, it comes so easy to you. Maybe you don't have that coaching wisdom as if you had to struggle.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about coaching is like what I said that you saw at the indoor national meet is it's not always about the training. It's not always about the preparation as far as getting yourself to the point where you can compete. I think the most important thing is being able to compete when it's time at your best. I think that's what helped me make 3 Olympic teams. Is like not every Olympic Games I was probably the best one out there, but the one thing that my coach always taught me to do is to be ready to compete when it counts. And in track and field, if you're not in a field event, you only have one shot at it, in a final race, so you have to be top 3. So, you know, we get to the national meet and, you know, here's the final. It's really up to you, and you have to make your way through the rounds and get there in the finals, and those are the kind of things that count. So I think what myself, Mario, and the other coaching staff do really well is making sure that our athletes are as prepared as possible mentally and competition-wise when it counts.
How difficult is it to know just how far to push them, because they're such precise athletes, and you know, the smallest thing can affect a performance. How do you deal with that?
Well, in my coaching experience, I just less is more. And usually when you think, should we do one more or not do one more, it's best to not do one more. That's always the safest bet.
And do you have to read your athletes? I mean, are there some you coach differently than others?
Yeah, there's some that needs to be pushed, some that, you know, this is enough. You know, so yeah, you just kind of, I'm really good at just visual. I kind of look in their faces, look in their eyes. I mean, I used to be a school teacher, so that kind of helps me to gauge.
What about selling the program now that you're a coach here and you're recruiting to Texas? What's the perception out there, and how have you found selling the program? Yeah, well,
the program pretty much sells itself a lot, but I think the thing that is great is that even our coaching peers and our the other high school coaches that we are connected with really respect Mario and myself and other people on the coaching staff, so they're really excited about the change and the new coaching staff, and they again want their prodigies to be with us and with the program, and they're excited about the direction that it's moving in, so that helps too.
And it doesn't hurt to have an event like the Texas Relays.
It does not hurt. And the facilities are awesome. I think it's one of the best in the country. So.
Tonja Buford-Bailey, thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.